All right, you're welcome to this segment on CSS3. So we'll continue looking at the box model. So let's work with an element, select the article, and then give it a background. I want to give it a background color of green, as we've always done, and then give it a color of white so that it's obvious. So the first one I want to talk about is the padding. So we can just specify the padding and set it to, let's say, 20 pixels. Now the padding is the space around the element. So let me take this out and then save. So currently this is being applied, and when we look at our box here, you will see that this element does not have any padding, it does not have any border, no margin, and the styles are being applied there. So when I specify a padding of 20 pixels, you will see that there is a space around the element. And the cool thing about these dev tools is that it allows us to kind of look at what is happening in real time. So let me raise this up a bit. So it allows us to look at what is going on in real time. So this is the content area. That's the space occupied by the content I've specified, and then I have my padding there. That's the space is highlighting there, and then the borders, there's no border, there's no margin, you can say dash dash. So this padding I've specified to be 20 is the padding of all corners. Sometimes I don't want to give the same value to all the corners. I can also specify a number of corners. I can specify, you can see some of them, padding left, padding right, padding top. So I can say padding top, I only consider the basic padding top to be 20 pixels, maybe padding right to be, let's say, 15 pixels, and then maybe I can say we also have padding bottom set to, let's say, 10 pixels. Just put a difference there so that padding left and set it to, let's say, 25 so that it will be obvious. So when we save and then we reload, so you can see that that padding has been applied. So when I hover over this, you can see the various padding is being applied, their size is there showing. So sorry, this is another way. So these are written on 4 lines, can also be written in 1 line. Something is quite not right. So these I've written in, I can also use padding and then specify starting from the top. The top, I can give it a padding of 20 pixels, and then go to the right, give it 15 pixels, go to the bottom, give it 10 pixels, and then to the left, give it 25 pixels. So this is just much like what you do on a clock. So let me put the comment over here. Much like what you do, you specify the top, go to right, go to bottom, just in a clockwise manner, and then go to left. So just like 12 o'clock at the top, and then 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock. So just clockwise pattern. And then when we save, the system is kind of slow, maybe it's the recorder. So when I save and reload, you can see that the padding has been applied accordingly. So that's how we can put padding, specify padding. Another thing we can do on this padding is we can also specify not up to these coordinates. I can also specify here to be, let's say, 50 pixels, just so you see the difference. So this one is now going to be the top. So this is going to be applied in this manner. This is going to be top, then left, right, and then the bottom. So this 50 is going to be 50, padding of 50 to the left, padding of 50 to the right, and then the same thing. So when I save and reload, so you have padding of 50 to the left and right, and then the different ones I set at it for top and bottom. So when you highlight, you see the same effect. So that's the thing about padding. I can also specify two coordinates. Can also specify two coordinates. Okay, let me just copy the other one. Specify two coordinates. When this happens, then this one will be applied to the top, and then this will be top and bottom, and then this will be left and right, just like let's say y-axis, this 20 on the y-axis, and then this 25 on the x-axis. So let's reload. So you see that the padding is being applied. So these are various ways we can set our padding on an element. So the next thing is I want to talk about borders. So let's talk about borders. Okay, I think I've commented paddings. We can move down. Still on the same article. When I save now and load, we are back to the same place where we started off. So let's talk about borders. We can basically specify our borders. So let's say border. We can give the border is a border width and set it to 2 pixels. So that's the width of our border. So let's sorry, I mistakenly hit Ctrl S on the browser. Okay, we set the border border style. We can set, these are all the various styles we can set our border, but for now I just want solid, very simple one. So this is going to set the border around this. Actually, if I take this out and then save, you can see that the border is not being applied. The border is not, these are our element, the border is not being applied. So this is a kind of required. So you can see that the border is being applied. This is a kind of required. We can also set the border color. Can set the border color to, let's set it to black. So you can see a black border is around it. So the cool thing about this element is that I can come over here and then select, let's say, the border width, then tab it. Let's set it to 20 pixels. So you can see it's there. Maybe I want to check some values just by can use my arrow key to be moving up, and in real time it's simulating. So when I'm done and I've decided that okay, this is the kind of effect I want, so you can see the value. You can take up this value and then go back to the document and apply it, and it will take effect there. So let's go back to our box. So I've specified the border style, border color, and border width. So I've used 3 lines for this. I can also do the same thing. I can also do the same thing in 1 line. I can just specify border, maybe 4 pixels, solid. This is required, and maybe give it a color of blue. So, and that will set a, this is what we are looking at. So this will set a blue border around it. So this is how we can set our border. So we can also set borders individually. You can say border left color, like that. Very intuitive. Border left color, let's say blue. Border, I'll just do 1 for all of them. Border left border left style, I'll set it to double, and then border left width, I'll set it to, let me set it to 9 pixels so that it's obvious. So when I refresh, you can see that has been applied there. You can see that there's a double border there. So let me make this 19 so that you will see the, so you can see that the style of the border there is now 19. Sorry, the style of the border there is double. So you can use any of these. You can use solid, you can use insert, you can use insert, and that's insert. Some of them will depend on other stylings to show. You can use groove and all the rest of them, but for this we just keep it at solid. So that's how you can set the style. You can also do the same for the other you can do the same for border left, border right, color, border width, like that too. So to specify different borders for your elements. So that's how we use border, and you can see it's showing up there. And then the next up I want to talk about is margins. Margins are basically the space between one element and another. When I save and reload, the stuff is out. So the way we do that is we specify the margin. Let's set it to 40 pixels so that it's obvious. So let's put a margin of 40 pixels. So you can see that imagine there's now a space of 40 pixels, and you can see that here. So this is the space of 40 pixels there around about it. So this space around here that is being highlighted is 40 pixels. So just the same way we worked with paddings, we can also work with margins this way. So basically, let me take up this padding of a thing. Let me take up this padding, copy it and then come over to the concept on margins and then set it out. And then for this case, I'm not applying paddings, I'm applying margin. So it's all set. So when I reload this, you will see that it has applied the margins that I've specified. You have margin top, margin right, margin bottom, margin left. So that way, the same way I've written for padding, just the same way for padding. I can also use margin 30 pixels, 25 pixels to the right and 20 pixels to the bottom, and then 15 pixels, and that will be applied accordingly. And as you can see from this box here, that's what is being applied. The next thing is that we can use margin and set it to auto. What this will do is that it will put the elements at the center, both vertically and horizontally. So that's one way to center. When you want to center content, you can see that the article is being centered. So setting the margin to auto will center the element. So it will center the element, so that's the thing about margin. There's something I want to talk about. That's about how the width is being calculated. So now that we have margin, we have margin. So without margin, let's look at what the width of the element is. Or let me specify a width for this. Let me set the width to 500 pixels. 500 pixels. So the width, this our margin. I'm applying margin, so I want to take out this margin. I want to take out the margin. I only want the width to be there. So there's no margin, there's no padding, there's no borders, so only the width is 500 pixels, and that's what I have. So in this case, let's apply a padding. Let me uncomment one padding here. Let's say we take out this one. And then we reload. You see that the element now has a width of 500, and then on the left and the right, this is 25, 25, that's 50. So the total width of this element is now 550. So if I also if I take out margin, where's the margin that has corresponding? Maybe I'll just put margin 10 pixels, 15 pixels, and then take out one border. Let me take out this one so that you see what we have. So if I take out that, so you can see what I'm having here. So for the width now this is 500 plus 25 times 2, that's 550, plus 4 times 2, that's 8, and then this is 30. So basically what I have is 30 plus 50, that's 80, that's 88. So the total width now is 588 pixels. That's the width I've specified. So you can override this by, you want everything, no matter what you apply as the border or margin, to everything to be included in the calculation of the width of the item. So what we can do is that we specify this border box, box sizing, sorry, box sizing, and then set it to border box. So when we do this, let's save. When we save, you see that the width has been adjusted to take up everything. Remember, we to take up the whole item, everything has been automatically adjusted to take that up. So basically this width is the whole width of this will fit into 500 model, because I've set it to the border. So basically what this is doing is that is taking out the up to the border. So the width is 500 up to the border. So basically that's it. We've set the box size into border box, so it will take the borders, or it will take the borders into consideration. Basically this is 25 times 2, that's 50 plus 8. If you take out 58 from 500, you have that 442 there. So that's what everything is covered in the 500 pixels that we have. So I'm mistakenly taking Ctrl+S on browser. So that's how we can specify that. So I've talked about the margin, so the next thing I will want to talk about is the display and positioning. I think we are running. Okay, let's take up another session on display, positioning, and float. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, don't forget to put it down in the comments or in the platform, and I'll do my best to respond. Also like the video if you do, give it a thumbs up, and then subscribe to get more. Thank you so much for sticking with me in this one. Thanks.